I'm not going to work like this forever. I'm going to build my own passive income. When did that first vision come about?
I would say it happened actually even before Airbnb. It's big value. And the skills I learned in my sales job, I apply in my everyday life today, This lifestyle, having the freedom to travel, all this comes with a cost, and passive income was for me the only option, like.
You mentioned passive income, which I think is huge for anyone who wants to build their own business, because I know in my case, I quit my full-time job at the UN. Suddenly you don't have a salary anymore. That's a difficult position to be in as well. So what was the first way that you started to really generate the ability to earn passively?
Well, it was through my rents, actually, because before quitting my job, I made sure to have at least a little income that was whatever I did was coming every month. But before that, I had to wait like maybe 5 years, like it took 5 years between my first flat and my last flat,
Wow.
like being rented and everything, generating income. So my first step was to make sure that I wanted a certain amount to be able to live, to choose my battles. And once I got this amount, I took the decision, okay, now you have to. And also I was telling you, my last job kind of cost me a bit of my mental health. So that's also why I realized that mental health is probably number one. Like no money will justify being stressed, or being stressed can be good, man. Toxic stress, like not enjoying going to the office, a toxic work environment, all these kind of things. I had never really paid attention, but I experienced it. And when I managed to get a good amount of money through my traditional job, my investments that were starting to pay, then I took the decision to quit my job. Actually, at that time also, I went to South America, so I could. The euro was stronger there, so I could live comfortably over there. Once I had a decent amount to live, I said to myself, okay, I have to stop this job and put myself in a situation where my only option is what I can do for myself.
I like that, because the idea of just quitting your job out of nowhere and let's gonna build it. Of course, people can do these things, right? But I think your approach was more calculated in that, okay, this is now difficult. The sales job, what was that selling?
I was actually working for Adobe.
Okay.
I was selling e-commerce platform.
I see. So
only B2B, huge companies. I was cold calling on the phone. First sales experience on the phone. I'm very grateful because this job allowed me to have a lot of skills that I apply in my business today. Like I say, everything happens for a reason.
All connected.
Even if it can seem toxic on the moment, to do the parallel with moving when I was a child, no friends, or changing friends a lot of times. But at the outcome, it's big value. And the skills I learned in my sales job, I apply in my everyday life today. Being consistent, never giving up. All this, which you can also relate with the sports. With everything happens for a reason. I say it because I truly experienced it. Yeah, it was a tough job, but a lot of lessons. And usually this job I did, people stay maybe 6 months, 1 year maximum before after going up in the company. I stayed in the same position for almost 2 years, So, because I knew I didn't want a traditional career, My only goal at this moment when I was working in sales is have the money to buy my flats, to have the down payment for my flats, and once it's done, I have the down payment for another one. Like you said, everything was calculated.
And that even when you're in, let's say the 2 years in sales might not have been your dream job, but you got the skills, and that while you were doing that job, you had a vision and a plan in your mind. I think that's what I can see it seems like that was crucial to your progression and your success. That yeah, you didn't just quit your job out of nowhere. You see that a lot online. I just quit my job, but this was like, how could you talk a little bit about your vision then? When did that you said it after Airbnb? Was it during the sales job, or was it even before the sales job that you knew, okay, I'm not gonna work like this forever. I'm gonna build my own passive income. When did that first vision come about?
I would say it happened actually even before Airbnb, but it concretized itself during Airbnb. Because before leaving Airbnb, I had already bought one flat, but I knew one flat was, especially when you buy through mortgage, you pay your mortgage, you have maybe 300-400 euro on one flat. You can't quit a job with only having 400 euro per month. It's barely my rent. So Airbnb was my actually why Airbnb stopped was because COVID arrives. So COVID, nobody was using Airbnb anymore, so they kind of fired us, all of us. And actually, this was also a big lesson because I saw the movies, the history, the stories, and all this, but when you literally from one day to another, you can be ejected of a job. Like pushes yourself to think, I think it's really over the time of, for example, my father had a 30-40 year career in the same industry, same companies and all this. Nowadays, it's not nothing is guaranteed anymore, like you can, especially after working in sales, you can be top performer for years or quarters. You have 1 month is not good. What's happening, like can be fired from one day to another. So I think this, plus, like I said, the fact of wanting to have the freedom to have the lifestyle I want to, on a Monday morning, Sunday, coming on the podcast here, and tomorrow going back to Ibiza, like this lifestyle, having the freedom to travel, all this comes with a cost, and passive income was for me the only option. Like I didn't see other ways than create my own income, my own wealth, and be dependent only of myself and not an employer. Or one day, if your performance is a bit more down, or life is just lifing, so some things happen, and we are all human, so we have to keep up with the journey, so I find it dangerous to be tied to only one source of income and live your life like this.